Now that our enterprise structure is configured, what we will do is we will try to hire an employee on that enterprise structure. So typically, it will never allow you directly to hire any employee after you have created the enterprise structure. There will be several configuration related errors that will occur. So let us take a look at what type of configuration errors that will come while hiring an employee. So we will use transaction code PA40 to hire an employee. We go inside the screen. This is the employee code that we give, that we want employee to be identified by unique identifier for any employee. This is the hire date, and we'll click on hiring and execute. So as we have configured our personal area W000, which is West Zone, employee group A and AC, and we'll try to hire this employee. Let's see what happens. So here system is saying that no entry for table T503 for AACC. So what we need to do is we need to basically make sure that these two tables are maintained after creating any employee group, employee subgroup, personal area or personal sub area. Be made be implementation or support, any in any phase. Whenever you create any personal area, personal sub area, employee group, employee subgroup, what is mandatory is we go to SM30 and we make entries in two tables. This is the first table, which is v underscore 001p underscore all, right? So we click on maintain. Country grouping will give us 99, and we go inside. So here we will search for our particular personal area and personal sub area M00. So you can see these groupings, all these groupings are not there. So what is personal sub area grouping? What happens is whatever rules are there in system, or whatever leaves we configured, whatever pay components will be there, whatever holidays will be applicable for any personal sub area. So what happen, we do not assign rules at the personal sub area level. We assign all the rules to the grouping. So we group particular personal sub areas into one personal sub area grouping, and to that grouping we apply all the rules. Whether it may be for time management, it can be for payroll, it can be for anything else as well. So for now, what we will do is we'll maintain some grouping for every PS grouping which we are seeing here. Okay, so let's say premium three, three, three time quota. Let's say one. Holiday calendar is another grouping which basically we have to create a holiday calendar which we will be following. So this is a first primary configuration when we do time management. So whatever is the prerequisite, we'll complete it. But for now, for getting this employee hired, we'll assign some values in every grouping and we'll move ahead. Okay, we'll try to save. Entry this does not exist. Okay. Okay, we'll select the first one. Okay, we'll try to save. So we have saved this, right? Now what we will do, we'll go to the second table. So this was the first table, right? Remember I said there are two tables that you need to make sure. So 001p is for personal sub areas and 503 is for the employee subgroups. So we'll again go to maintain, we'll give country grouping, and we'll search for our employee grouping C. All these three groupings are empty. So let us assign them. One, 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 three. Okay. So now that we have maintained all the groupings, we should not get that error. So before we go ahead, we might also need to create a payroll area. Okay. So what is a payroll area? Payroll area is nothing but the group of employees which will be for which the payroll will be executed together. Okay. So what we need to do, we need to configure a particular payroll area. So for configuring payroll area, uh, let us go to SPRO again, SAP reference object. We will search for payroll. Under payroll, we will search for international because we are using country grouping as 99. We'll go to basic settings, right? And under payroll organization, we have this nodes. Okay. So first, what we need to do is we need to create a payroll area. Okay, but there are something it's called as payroll period parameters and date modifiers as well. So we'll come to this later. First, let us, for hiring an employee, let us first target creating payroll areas. So we'll go to payroll area. First step is to create payroll area and then create control record. So first we'll go here, and what we'll do is first we'll see if payroll area 99 exists or not. Yes, it is existing for non-relevant payroll. So this area for 99 payroll will never be executed. See the checkbox you can see on the right hand side. This checkbox is basically to signify that the payroll will be executed or not. So this is for all the employees for whom payroll is should not be executed. You can group them under 99 so that payroll driver knows that payroll should not be executed. Okay. Now the payroll area that we need to create, let's say we need to create with the code TC. So TC it already exists, so we cannot create, or we can rename the same payroll area as well. So if I choose to use the standard entry, we can do that. But for our purpose, let us create something new. Let's say TI. So TI is not available. So let us try to create TI. Okay. Let's say copy create this entry and give TI. TCI employees. Okay, here I am saying period parameter is 01. Okay, which is monthly. So I told you there is something called as period parameter, right? As well as there is something called as date modifier, right? In the two nodes that we have seen. So period parameter is something where we define what is the frequency of payroll. So whether the employees will be paid weekly or bi-weekly or monthly or semi-monthly, right? This is the period frequency. The period frequency is decided by period parameter. So if a particular employee or if a particular set of employees are being paid monthly, so all the payroll areas that will be configured for them will be tagged or mapped with period parameter as 01, which is monthly. Similarly, we have a number of values. We have semi-monthly, weekly, bi-weekly. So what is the difference between bi-weekly and semi-monthly? Bi-weekly will consider exactly 14 days. Semi-monthly will be first 15 days of the month will be one, and 16th and onwards, whatever is the date, will be the second period. So likewise, we can also create our own custom period parameters, but some standard period parameters are already given, and in my experience, these are more than enough to configure any country's period. So we understood the concept of period parameters. When we create any new payroll area, we need to give period parameters. Now let us come to date modifiers. What are date modifiers? So if we say standard modifier, uh, so For now we will keep it as standard modifier, and then we will understand the 1 2 3 4 whatever what are these values later on. Okay, just bear with me for some time because some concepts to understand we will need some kind of background before we can go ahead. Okay, so we will save this ti, right, and we will complete the configuration. Now that we have created payroll area, the next step is to create control record for that particular payroll area. Now, what is a control record? Right? Control record is something which governs or controls the data, okay, for the group of employees of a particular payroll area. Here, in our example, it is T1. And what it will control basically is what would be the earliest master data change date which should be allowed for that particular payroll area. For example, if I'm giving, let's say, pay period as 01, not 01, let me give it 12 2024. Okay, and here let me give it as 01 2024. Okay, so we will spend some time on this screen, okay, to understand what every field means. Okay, first let me save this record and we'll go to edit mode to check it again. Okay, so now you can see here that we have payroll period as 12/2024, right, which is basically governing, telling the system that current payroll period is December 24. So current payroll period is December 24. It means that we are in the December month. So this is how the system identifies for which particular set of employees what is the current payroll period. So if I run payroll today for this set of employees, system will execute payroll for December 24. Okay, so this is clear. Okay, next field is this one, 0. The next field, run, which you can see over here. What is this field? When we execute payroll, when anyone executes payroll, so what happens is after executing payroll, there is they will verify the results, right? They will verify whether the payroll results are accurate, and then if any correction is needed, they will make the correction and they will run again, right? So this will count the number of runs that are done. Like for example, if for first time we executed December payroll, and then we were not happy with the payroll result, we forgot to update, let's say, unpaid leave of some employees, we forgot to update some appraisals or promotion, some changes in salary of any employee. So what we typically do is we will change the master data and we will run the payroll again, right? So this, when we run for the second time, this will be updated with the number 2. Okay, this will keep a track of how many runs you did for that particular payroll area, and definitely the final run will be the final payroll results which will be considered for this particular month. Now coming to the earliest retroactive period. Now this period determines a date. This date is something that beyond this date, any master data correction cannot happen for employee in the past. So for example, if there is an employee which is there in system since, let's say, 2020, and we have kept the control record for this payroll area as such 1 2024, so we'll not be able to make any master data changes for that employee before this date. So this is basically a cutoff date, um, beyond which we cannot make any payroll relevant changes in the past for an employee. So standard SAP solution supports retro calculations. What I mean by retro calculations, any backdated changes in master data, payroll relevant master data will be considered and will be accordingly paid. Accordingly paid means if there is a um, backdated deduction, recovery will happen. If there is a backdated payment, payment arrears will be calculated. But there is a limit to which we can limit the date to which the recalculations can happen in the past. So this is the date that we set for a particular payroll area, beyond which system will not recalculate anything. So it will not even allow to maintain the data. Forget about recalculating. Okay, and these are the different statuses. So just observe what happens. So here we have entered 12 2024, and what happens when I click on release for payroll? It changes. The period changes to 1 2025. Okay, so purposefully I had entered period as 12/24, so that when I release for payroll, it will release for 25. Why this is like it? I'll give you an example again. Let me save this. I will go again to edit mode. Now this control record is called as control record because it controls everything related to payroll for this set of employees. So if the control record is in release for payroll, now it will not allow master data changes to be done for employees. For these set of employees, only payroll can be executed, because if you are allowing payroll execution and master data being changes at the same time, there will be no guarantee that whatever master data you are making changes will be considered in payroll or not. So this is the mechanism, robust mechanism that SAP has developed to make sure, always make sure that when payroll is running, master data will not be changed. If master data is being changed, payroll will not run. So this is released for payroll. So right now, no master data changes are allowed. After that, let's say I go to release for correction. Now corrections are allowed after saving. So I saved it, and now you can see the control record is in release for correction mode. Okay. Now if I release for payroll again and execute payroll, you can see the run count changed. So let us assume that we executed payroll for one time and we are not happy with the result, right? So we can again make correction and run payroll. Let us assume that we have run payroll. We came here and again we identified some issues. We again can go for release for correction and make the corrections. And again we go to release for payroll. So it is recording that payroll is being run for the third time. So we can do this a number of times. The maximum limit that we can do is 99. After 99, you'll have to delete the control record and create the control record again for that particular pay group areas. But 99 is overkill. No one actually has to execute payroll 99 times before finalizing the results. Typically, I have observed with my experience, people or administrators will take 3 or 4 runs max to finalize the payroll results, and then they will they'll put the control record to exit, which will trigger which will tell system that the payroll for this period is finished. Now next time when they will execute the payroll, they will, the next month they will go for release for payroll and it will change the period as well. Okay, so enough about control record for now. We'll again go in detail when we will see the process, but for now what we have done, we have created the control record for the payroll area that we have configured. Okay, now what we will do, we will again try to hire an employee. So let us try PA40 employee. We gave the date, hiring payroll, and execute. Personal area W000AAC. Let me see if system is allowing to save. Yes, now this time the record got created, and this is the second record. What is the second record? Second record is asking for sub area. It's the second info type, which is organization assignment. Info type number 1. We select our person sub area. We'll select our payroll area, right? That we configured. TI. Yes. We will save this record as well. Okay, it is asking for position. Right now we will just cancel. We'll continue. That is, without any position, we will proceed and save. So after saving, it is asking for details of employee. So let's say last name is Karpate, first name is Anurag, right? Date of birth is, let's say, 0011190. Okay, and we'll try to save the record. Now it is asking for address information. So let me just skip this. Planned working time. If it saves, it is fine, or else we can skip it. Yeah, it is. We have to configure some work schedules also before we can save it. It's fine. We can skip this info type. Basic pay also we will skip for now. Bank details also we will skip for now. All the info types we will skip. So now if you see, we have hired this employee successfully in the enterprise structure that we configured, right? If you go to PA30, you'll be able to see this employee. So you can see right now only actions, organization assignment, and personal data. These three info types are filled. So all the other, like for example, bank details, if you want to enter bank details, if you want to enter basic salary, if you want to enter work schedule, we have to do some configuration that we'll be doing in the upcoming videos. Okay, so for our first aim of configuring enterprise structure and hiring one employee in that is completed. So what now we will do is, we will our next aim is to configure work schedule rule for this particular set of enterprise structure that we have created, and assign the work schedule rule to this employee. Along with that, we'll also configure some pay components. Okay, and then we'll try to run payroll using the standard payroll schema. Later on, we will copy and create our own customer specific schema, and we proceed with the further configurations in payroll.